It was an important item on my bucket list to participate at a North and South Skirmish Association event in the US. Thanks for an invitation from Ed Schneemann, an old shooting friend of mine, I was able to complete that point recently. I have been shooting black powder for nearly 3 decades now, but this was probably the best range time ever, shooting a reproduction of the US model 1861 8-inch mortar, owned and managed by Tim Scanlan and the 1st Maryland Cavalry, an excellent group of North-South Skirmish Association shooters. Now this is a beast, and I cannot emphasize enough how thrilled I was to finally fulfill this bucket list item of mine. In the 19th century there were 3 branches within the artillery arm. Field artillery used lighter cannons and howitzers that could be carried into field battles, while the garrison or fort and the siege artillery was based on heavier cannons, howitzers, and mortars. All these types of artillery pieces had different roles. A cannon is for direct fire with a flat trajectory. A howitzer is for indirect fire with an arcing trajectory, but can also engage in direct fire. And the mortar is a specialized high-angle indirect fire weapon with no direct fire capability. The mortars are mainly arms of fortifications and sieges. They seldom had a role in field battles in the 19th century, but they played an extensive part in the sieges of the Civil War. Both the Union and Confederate Army had similar mortars during the conflict. According to the Ordnance Manual of 1861, 5 types of mortars were used in the Army. The 8 and 10-inch caliber pieces were considered light mortars. The 10 and 13-inch caliber pieces were heavy mortars. These pieces were the backbones of the siege and fort artillery. Coehorn mortars were also in service. These were lightweight portable mortars developed by Dutch engineer Baron Menno van Coehorn in the late 17th century. Designed for mobility, it could be carried by a small crew. Coehorn mortars had a 5.82-inch caliber and fired a 24-pound projectile. They were made of bronze. The stone mortar was used for throwing baskets of stone or small shells for a very short distance. It is used by the besiegers to clear the breach just before the advance of the storming party, or by the besieged to repulse this last as it advances up the breach. The last type was the éprouvet mortar, made of iron with a bore diameter of 5.655 inches. It was designed to test powder quality by firing a standardized projectile in 45-degree angle. Probably the most interesting mortars of the Civil War were actually made of wood. General Grant's soldiers were the first one to use wooden mortars during the Civil War at the Siege of Vicksburg in July of 1863, as they lacked enough siege mortars. These were carved from a trunk reinforced with iron bands. Their range was smaller than their iron and brass brothers, but they surely worked at close ranges.
How much powder?
This is 5.5 ounces.
And which grade?
1F.
1F. Swiss?
No, 1F GoX.
The most interesting competition within the North-South Skirmish Association is the mortar team match for 4 to 6 members shooting at a stake in the ground at 100 yards. In not less than 45 minutes, 7 shots are fired. The 5 shots closest to the stake are measured, with the winner being the team with the lowest total distance. Repro and original pieces can be used if their model antedates April 26, 1865.
Friction primer?
Friction primer with a kicker on the end of it, because it's got a really long fire channel.
And you make the primers as well?
I don't make the primers, I buy them, but then I modify them. I put the straw with the other 10 grains of powder on it.
Yeah.
The pieces can be fired by match or by friction primers. Artillery friction primers are small ignition devices used to fire muzzle-loading cannons in the 19th century. A friction primer consists of a brass tube filled with fine gunpowder compound. Inside the tube is a wire with a roughened or serrated end and coated with a friction-sensitive proprietary blend. This wire passes through the tube and forms a loop at the end. Pulling the wire through the tube causes friction and ignites the charge in the tube and produces a flame that shoots through the vent hole and ignites the black powder charge.
The friction primers are a standard friction primer. You pull on the brass wire. The wire is serrated up in here going down into the tube through fulminated mercury in the top. That creates the spark. There's 7 grains of Swiss 1.5F black powder in there. And then I put another 7 grains of GoX 3F on the end because it's got a very long fire channel. And if I don't use that, if it gives you a hang fire, it goes pop boom.
Yeah.
So this just gives it an extra boost.
All compete in the same class, that is designated M, regardless of size.
It's okay?
Sighting shall be done in the original manner of pointing Civil War mortars. Only a gunner's level, quadrant, pointing stakes, string, and plummet are permitted.
Long.
So,
The
Tim,
barrel on it is like this thing.
Yes.
what is this?
This is an 1861 pattern, 8-inch siege mortar. It's a U.S. pattern, and there was 360 of them used in the American Civil War.
You said that it's 16 inch. 16 inch. What's
It's
the
an
caliber?
8-inch.
Eight,
It shoots an 8-inch ball,
8-inch ball, yeah?
and it weighed 48 pounds for a
48
for a
pounds.
shell.
Okay.
And
okay.
it had it was a 2-pound blasting charge inside the ball, which was originally made of iron. They were time fused, so the gunner would estimate their distance to the target. They'd look at a gunner's chart, a table, what's called a table of fire, see that the flight time was 8.6 seconds. They'd take a 10-second fuse and cut it down to 8.2 seconds. So as it's coming in, it explodes in midair over the target and does the damage.
Yeah. This is beautiful.
Thank you.
This is the reproduction of an original.
Correct.
Okay. Tell me.
100% correct, except for this lifting hook.
Yeah. So I've already noticed that you don't set elevation. You set elevation or the range with the powder charge.
At close range like this, elevation doesn't matter. I can take it from 30 to 60 degrees, and it's only going to make 4 or 5 feet of difference at 100 yards. But at 2,500 yards, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
There's a ratchet mechanism back here, and
okay, that's
it uses a bar that goes through here,
okay.
and you lean up or down to adjust the elevation with a gunner's quadrant inside the barrel.
Beautiful, beautiful.
She can come around and look down the muzzle with the camera if she wants.
Yeah, I have that picture. I have the picture. Tell me something about the balls that you use.
Okay.
It does not look like iron.
No, they're not iron. They're made of zinc. Zinc has the same weight by volume of iron, within 1.5%. But we can melt zinc at 760 degrees versus iron at 1940 degrees. So I make these. The wood plugs in the middle are plugging half-inch EMT electrical conduit, and I've got a ball of sand on the end of it that big. So I clamp that into the mold, you pour the zinc down around it, and then I cut the sprue off there, and I plug the conduit with the wooden plugs to keep the moisture from getting into the sand.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And clever. I always thought that you're shooting some kind of bowling ball or something like that, but I think that would explode midair.
This is just slightly smaller than a 10-pin ball, like 1/8 of an inch.
Excellent, excellent. What's the weight? Again?
48 pounds.
48 pounds. God. And this is the tool that you use for...
Yes, that's a set of tongs for lifting. They used 2-person tongs in the Civil War for lifting, because they would put in the Civil War they would have a fuse holder in here, and then a time fuse, which was marked in 1 second increments, would get driven down in there. And then the 2-person fuse, they would pick it up and straddle the top of the mortar so they wouldn't be in front of the tube when it had a powder charge in it, and place it with the fuse placing up. When the powder charge goes off underneath it, the flames burn around the ball, lighting the fuse.
Oh, excellent. Automatic.
Left side. You want to clean? I'll have a dry rag. Gun 8, prepare to fire. Fire.
Straight, but a little long yet.
It's lubrication?
Just cleaning.
Just clean, just
So,
water?
We just wet it with the brush and get the big crud off, and then we just dry it to make sure there's no moisture to
Yeah.
contaminate the powder.
What is the weight of this stuff?
I believe it's just over a ton, 2182, something like that.
How you move it, guys?
Tractor.
You have a crane or something?
A tractor with forks on it.
The charge must be loose powder, stored far from the piece in closed containers. The angle of firing must be between 30 and 60 degrees. The vent hole is covered by a deflector shield while firing to prevent the hot gases escaping here from causing damage. No wedding or powder bags are allowed. The piece is commanded by the gunner, and the management of the piece is fully based on Civil War manuals. with some minor modifications of course for maximum safety.
Here's a neat fact on these. They have two vents, two vent holes. When the first one burns out in battle and gets too big, they spike it, and this one's only drilled halfway through, and then they drill that the rest of the way.
Okay,
Because these took a lot of use.
redundant.
Yeah,
Excellent.
just a piece of useless information.
Clever guys. Well,
The model 1861 8-inch light mortar was a simplified, lightened and modernized version of the model 1841 8-inch mortar. It fired a 46-pound shell to distances between 500 to 2,200 yards, depending on the angle and the powder charge. According to Griffith's artillerist manual, the time of flight of a 1,200-yard shot was 14.5 seconds. The weight of the piece was 820 pounds. Mortar charges were not loaded in bags in the chamber, but as loose powder. The bags were only used for carrying the charge to the piece. The normal service charge was 1 pound and 12 ounces of cannon powder. The composition of the cannon powder was the same as other powders, meaning 75% of saltpeter, 10% of sulfur and 15% of charcoal. But the granulation was coarser, 0.1, 0.07 inches. The 8-inch mortar fired the same shell as the 8-inch howitzers. The hollow charge exploded to approximately 30 fragments, preferably above the target for maximum destruction. If they hit ground, they penetrated compact earth from 15 to 28 inches at 600 yards, meaning their killing effect could be reduced significantly. The windage between bore and projectile was 0.12 inches. The point of explosion during its flight was set by a time fuse inserted into the hole on the projectile. The fuse was rolled from paper and contained a mix of 2 parts saltpeter, 1 part sulfur, and 3 parts of milled gunpowder. 1 inch of this fuse burned for 3.8 seconds. Solid shot could also be fired by them, that destroyed from above with pure kinetic power. Light and fireballs could also be used if necessary.
The gunner who commanded the piece, number 1 who cleaned it and loaded and was in charge of getting the proper charges and stuff up. Numbers 2 and 3 would have the hand spikes. After the gun would shoot a service load, it would slide back, say 4 to 5 feet. So we would put the hand spikes under the end, and by command from the gunner of heave, we would lift it up and lever it forward back into the battery. Number 5 was at the box. They would cut the charge and cut the fuses.
Yeah. What was the distance between the box and the
normally 25 feet at least.
At least.
For here, we're shooting 5 ounces here. Service loadedness is 3.5 pounds, and that makes you shoot almost 2 miles.
Yeah.
I've shot 1 pound and 8 ounces up in camp, or 1 pound and 9 ounces in Camp Grayling for 900 yards, and we set car alarms off about a mile away.
And now our distance is 100 yards.
Just shooting 100 yards today.
What are the discipline? So what are the rules for the discipline?
The rules are we shoot 7 balls. It's kind of like golf, but with big balls.
Yeah.
We throw out your 2 furthest. We measure the other 5, the distance from each ball to the stake, add that up for a cumulative total, and whoever has the lowest total distance wins.
So did you ever hit the pole?
I've broken 101 stakes.
Ah, you're counting it.
Oh yeah.
That's the bullseye.
That's the bullseye. I don't care where the rest of them go. If I hit the stake, I win. To me.
Yeah. Excellent.
And we still have 3 tries to do it today.
Will you do it?
We're going to get close.
What was the weight?
2,370 pounds.
Guys, this is the biggest game ever.
The tube was cast out of John Deere tractor engines. That was the base material for them. In this case. And the Paulson brothers machined the outside here and then bored them and bored the face.
So it is not inlined. So this is just the material.
It's solid cast steel.
And before using it, do you have to officially proof it? So is there any kind of... No,
it's 4 inches thick.
Yeah, it won't explode.
Yeah. Especially not for the loads we're shooting.
Yeah.
It's a stronger...
Especially the barrel is short, so which means that most of the pressure goes out immediately.
Correct.
So it does not build up that much as in case of longer pieces. This...
You get to shoot again next.
Okay.
And we'll let
I can do that.
We'll let Bridget, right?
Bridget, yeah.
We'll let Bridget fire the last shot because that's the important one. She's going to break the stake.
Okay.
Hopefully. want to shoot this time?
If I can.
Fire. Gun 8, make ready. Fire.
Yeah. She's for sale, so.
Once again.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you very much.
Anytime.
You made me very, very happy.
Did Eddie ask you about shooting smoothbore today?
Sorry?
Smoothbore muskets?
Smoothbore musket?
After carbine, we have a smoothbore musket match.
Yeah.
And I'm short a shooter, and I've got a P41 Enfield. Last shot.
Oh, that's me again?
You get to finish it off. Just kind of add tension, and then when I say fire, just kind of move your whole body. Ready, make ready, fire! Way long.
No, that's not that fun. This
No,
is
this
mine.
is Bridget. That was Boz. That's Boz. Move your footsteps, you. Hey. This is 7 feet 9. Ooh. Oh, you got beat again by a woman.
I leave her here for you. Nice becsapódás.
Put a smiley face on mine.
Now that's an
Okay.
respect
Yeah,
point.
I'll do it.
Kettlebell. To hit. So this is what we have to hit. Oh. And that's my ball. My third one. The most beloved one.
Fire!
Live mortar shooting is an excellent fun, and the professionalism needed to hit that stake at 100 meters is just insane. Thanks again for the excellent team of the 1st Maryland Cavalry NSSA team. I never forget these moments. If you like what I do, then please do not forget to subscribe, switch on notifications, like, share and comment. We are also present on the History of Weapons and War platform. Please support us on patreon.com/capandball for exclusive content. Until next time, stay cool and keep your powder dry.